the FMS Reflex V2, this little guy right here. It comes in the FMS PNP airplane, stands for plug and play, or maybe PNF, plug and fly. Anyways, all you need to do is supply your receiver and obviously your transmitter, and the Reflex is the gyro. The gyro helps with stabilization for wind. It also has another function of self-leveling the airplane, and it has in certain airplanes some takeoff assistance and a couple other things to help out beginner pilots. And then there's a no help at all. So you can say it's got 3 different modes, and you can control that from your transmitter if you have the right transmitter and the right know-how to do that. Which, hey, lucky for you, I have put out several videos in the past week all about the Reflex. And in those videos, we got lots of comments, and the comments are awesome. Especially the ones that say, hey, Sean, thank you for doing this video. I've been looking for it and found it. You know, you earned a subscriber. You know, thank you. And that is the whole reason why I'm doing this. A couple years ago, there were times that I would watch hundreds of YouTube videos just trying to figure out a certain color of a wire, or where that wire was plugged in, or how that, you know, how somebody did something with this RC airplane. And then I learned all this info, and I want to give it back to you guys so you don't have to watch 300 videos. You can just I can be a one-stop shop, you know. So in some of the comments, there was lots of questions about the Reflex V2, and I figured I'd answer a couple of them. And I guess that's it. So I'll put the comments up on the TV here, and we'll pick out a few that are questions, and we'll answer them. And for those of you that are wanting to see some more videos of my workplace, I put another one up today, a little shop tour. So you can see that. So, all right, hey, hang on. Let's put the comments up on the TV. First question, or more or less a statement. He says, hey, well done, Sean. So, hey, thank you. But he says it's a shame I didn't demonstrate the control surfaces reacting to the gyro. And the Ranger that this came out of, I didn't have the wings. I was fixing that plane for a friend, and we did install this in my demo plane, but we didn't. I didn't do a reaction test, and I should have. And I don't think I need to give this back for a couple weeks, and we might do that in the demo plane soon. And he made and also another statement that, you know, FMS calls this the Reflex. Arrows has their system called the Vector. Spectrum obviously has the AS3X and the Safe Select. And there's several other systems out there too. Hobby Eagle, I think, has one, and there's a couple others that I've seen. And let's see here. Moving right along. Lots of thank yous, and I appreciate all that. Oh, let's see here. A lot of people leaving comments that I watched. So, you know, John VHRC, thank you, and TXK Flyer, he's my buddy. Him and I, we were crosstown rivals in a fun way, I guess. He likes it when I turn the plane upside down. Okay, and then Patrick says again, just to be clear, if that's possible, you plugged it all in correctly, but your transmitter port assignments are wrong. Okay, now that's how this whole Reflex started. Is my friend that owns the plane that the Reflex came in, he said, hey man, the directions are wrong. He said, I had to completely do something else to set it up. And I said, no, there's no way the directions are wrong. And I said, well, we're going to pick on you to help other people. So that's how all these videos came about, is that, yes, this is pretty easy to get confused if you're just kind of looking at one side and not the other. But if you follow the directions, then nothing goes wrong. You got to remember, when you're looking at this right now, when you're seeing it, the pins on the left, those are already plugged into your plane. And this is mounted in the plane. Then you have all these leads coming out that plug into your receiver. and you need to plug these into your receiver according to your RX port assignments in your transmitter. Your screen will say throttle is 1, ailerons are 2. It could possibly be ailerons are 5. It's your RX port assignment. So as long as you do all that and follow the directions, follow my videos, no problemos. So this is a good one here. He says, hey, thanks for the video. So I guess you can't install the reflex in a non-FMS plane, right? Question mark. Don't they have to be installed in a FMS plane in a specific location and have the programming for that particular plane in the reflex? So your whole question is correct. However, where there's a will, there's a way. Like we showed in that one video, how you can change your profile in here. If you had a plane that looked very similar to one of theirs in the list, maybe the same wingspan, maybe the same kind of weight, the same design of the plane, and you installed this in the exact way that they're telling you so that the gyros worked how they're supposed to work, you could probably get away with it. I've done some stuff like that. So where there's a will, there's a way. It's not going to be exact. You can't adjust the sensitivity of the gyro, so it could be dangerous when you start to fly. But hey, part of this hobby is fiddling and having fun. So where there's a will, there's a way and something to do. And then somebody says, good to watch this, Sean. What's your opinion? Which is better, the reflex or the Spectrum? Obviously, Spectrum is, because the AS3X safe select capable receivers in the Spectrum's lineup are completely programmable, specific for your needs, and everything is adjustable. Yes, like I just said, you could put this in another plane that's just like it, and make sure you mount it in the correct orientation so that the gyro works the way it's supposed to work. But the sensitivity could be different. If this came out of a 4-pound airplane and you put it in a 5-pound airplane, then the sensitivity is not going to be strong enough, or the flight characteristics might be wrong, and it could be bad, and you could get lucky and it could be perfect. But with the Spectrum, you can adjust it all. If you were to buy this, it's like $30. The AR631 or the 630 receiver is like $69-70. So for like $40 more, you can get one that you can custom program, and it's going to be right. And the Spectrum products, their receiver is, well, let me go back. The Spectrum products, it's a receiver and the gyro all in one. This reflex is the gyro, and you still need a receiver. So if you're looking at a $30 reflex and then you bought a $10 or $15 receiver on like eBay, now you're at like $45, so you might as well put another $15 to $20 with it and get one that you can adjust and fine-tune to your needs. Now, the Spectrum Smart receivers, they have enough memory inside of them to have 2 airplanes. So you can buy a receiver, set it up for your whatever, your P51, get it completely dialed in. You've been flying it, and you've been adjusting your gains, and you've been doing all kinds of stuff, and you got it dialed in. You flew your P51 all summer long. Now you want to buy a J3 Cub, and you're not going to fly the P51 this next season or what have you. You can, using your transmitter, you can go into the forward programming menu, and you can save everything that you programmed to that P51, and you can kind of put it, let's say, in the closet. And then that opens up a whole nother receiver, and your P51 is still in storage. So now you can program your J3 Cub, and you can fly it all year long. And then you can take the receiver out, put it back in the P51 with a couple clicks of a button. The programming's all right back. So 2 airplanes, 1 receiver in the Spectrum products for the Smart AS3X Safe Select capable receiver. So Spectrum all the way when it comes to that. Another question somebody asked about the FMS Reflex, they said, hey, what if your airplane has flaperons and therefore it needs, two channels for your ailerons? I can't say it, the aliens. If you set up individual aliens, it'll be like left wing channel 2 and right wing channel 6. You only have one input on the reflex, so you can't do separate channels for your aliens or flaperons or anything like that. You can only just have regular one channel for the aliens on a Y harness. That's the only thing you can do. All right, we got one more. He says, hey mate, I like that. He says, can you do the same with an open source transmitter? He's talking about when I was doing the video on connecting this Spectrum receiver to the FMS Reflex. That's the good thing about the Reflex, is that you can use any transmitter and any receiver. So it doesn't have to be Spectrum. The Reflex is not a receiver. You have to have your transmitter sends a signal to the receiver, and the receiver goes into the Reflex. So you can use any brand, FlySky, Futaba, Airtronics, Edge TX, open source transmitter. So yes, you can use any transmitter receiver you want, 4 channels or more. And then he also says, do I know how to hook up the Reflex via the S-Bus port? S-Bus is something that Futaba does, and I'm sure there's some other people. I'm not all that familiar with it, but I know how it works, and they have, the Futaba receivers have the capability of sending all this information down all 5 of these servo leads down one lead. That's my cat doing that. Skittles, hey, get over. They can send it all down one lead. So if you're familiar with the Spectrum Smart speed controls, that information can go from your receiver to the speed control to make the motor move, plus information can come from the speed control back to the receiver, back to your transmitter to show temperature and RPM and stuff like that. So data can go this way and that way. The S-Bus is the same thing, but it has a lot of signals, which how the Spectrum Smart speed control is. It can send the RPMs back, the temperature back, the battery volts back, all kinds of information can come and go on the one servo plug from your speed control to your receiver. So the S-Bus works the same way. This receiver has 5 servo leads going to the Reflex. If this was a Futaba and we were using the S-Bus, we would only need 1 servo lead can send all the same information. So on your Futaba receiver, there'll be a port that says S-Bus here, or maybe it will be channel 1 is also S-Bus, and then you would plug it into the S-Bus port on the Reflex. We have our channel 5 going into the Reflex to turn off, or to turn the different flight modes on. The self-leveling, the stability for the wind, and then the nothing. So that's going through the S-Bus. Okay, hey, last one. So somebody says, can the FMS Reflex be used with the IX12 transmitter? And that just wants me to keep on doing these videos. It really does. This is the oldest transmitter that I have made by Spectrum. This came with my Apprentice. This is the DX5E. It's missing the antenna because I took it out and put it in another transmitter. This is a non-computerized transmitter. It is Spectrum. It sends out the 2.4 gigahertz, just like all of our RC channel, transmitters do now. But their protocol is the DSMX. It was first called DSM, and then it got better, DSM2, and now it's gotten better than that, and it's DSMX. The RC car line is DSM-R. So kind of separate. It's kind of like AT&T or your Verizon. They had a 3G internet, and then they got 4G, then they got 5G. So the DSMX is the best 2.4 gigahertz signal that the Spectrum transmitter and receivers talk back and forth on. So any transmitter that will bind to a receiver. Spectrum transmitter needs to bind to a Spectrum receiver, and they both need the same protocol of DSMX, DSM, DSM2, etc. They need to be compatible. You need to check that out. So any transmitter that is bound to any receiver can operate the FMS Reflex. DX5E, the IX12, the IX20, your Airtronics something, your Futaba something, your whatever. Any transmitter that is bound to a receiver can operate the Reflex. Even back in the day before this, when you would pull an antenna up about 5 feet, and it would have little crystals, and it would operate on FM or AM bands, and only a few people would be able to fly at the same time because it's a pretty good chance you could have the same signal as one another. Those receivers can operate the Reflex. So any receiver that is bound to any transmitter can operate the Reflex. This airplane that it came out of needs 4 channels or more to operate. So I'll keep on doing these videos, guys. Hey, that's it. Hope that entertained you guys a little bit, and I guess that's all I got. So hey, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it, and until next time, you'll see me here. Adios. If you want to win a jet like this, all you have to do is subscribe. Click the like button and leave a comment. And then ring the bell so you don't miss my next video. At 1,000 subscribers, we gave this jet away. At 5,000, we're going to give another one. I don't know what it is yet. We'll see when that time comes. So hey, subscribe, guys. Happy flying.